What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another of my videos, and today we're continuing the Who to Buy For series, and this episode is Brighton. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it, and we're going to show you the team, and then what we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to, as always, go and then show you who we're going to buy. So first of all, this is the formation that we have been given. It's a 4-4-1-1 with McAllister sitting just behind Welbeck. Now, one thing I will say about Welbeck, he is a good striker, but at the same time, he's not a world-class striker. So if you want to be pushing towards Europe, which I'm sure you do with Brighton, then you may want to look at bringing in a striker. I have got at least one striker I know off the top of my head on the list that I'm going to show you. McAllister, I don't think you need to really change him. Caicedo and Gross, maybe. If you wanted to move Caicedo onto a bigger club, realistically, that probably will happen next season. So if you wanted to do that, that is probably realistic to do. And if you do, then you might want to bring in another central midfielder. So I have a couple of central midfielders, I think. Mitoma and March, they are fine, I think. In real life, they've been doing really well on the wings, so I don't think you really need to be improving there. Backline looks pretty solid as well. Tariq Lamptey, not the highest rating, but of course he's only 21 years old, so he's still going to improve. And David Sanchez in goal. Look, he's not the best keeper in the Premier League, but he's 24 years old, still 78 rated, and you will be able to get him up to at least the low 80s but by the time he hits his peak, so I don't really think that's somewhere you need to improve. You may want to bring in a backup keeper if you wanted, but to be honest, we're mainly trying to improve the starting 11 with these transfers that I'm suggesting. Van Hecker is another one who you could put on the bench ahead of Colwill, and Jakob Murder as well. You could bring on Evan Ferguson's doing really well in real life, so you may want to give him a go. He's obviously only 17 years old, so that'll be my suggestion if you started a career mode with Brighton. But that's not why you're here today. Why you're here today is to see my suggestions. So without further ado, let's go into the transfer hub and see who I'm going to be suggesting for you. So the first person I'm going to be suggesting is the striker from Mainz over in Germany. He is a German international as well. It's Jonathan Burkhardt. He's 22 years old and he's 76 overall. I think he's probably definitely a better option than Undav and what's his name, Danny Welbeck. And he would come straight into the first 11, I think. And hopefully he's with McAllister behind him and Mitoma and March either side of him. He should be able to get a few goals this season. You buy him and hopefully push you on towards the European spots like in real life, but obviously you don't have to buy him. Well, he's going to cost a decent bit of money, between 12 and 15 million it says here, but you have got a decent budget. I forgot to mention that the budget is, I think, around 40 million, 42 million maybe. And considering the other players we've got on here, they're not the most expensive, so Burkhardt could definitely be an option in the first season for you to bring in. But if you wanted to be realistic and sign him in the second season, that's also fine. But if you bought him in the first season, you're probably going to capitalise and allow him to grow a little bit more. So if you wanted to do that, that's also fine. So Gustavo Hamer is the second player on this list. Now, Coventry are a solid championship side, but they may want to start rebuilding because they're not really moving anywhere at the moment. They're just kind of in a transition stage, and I think Gustavo Hamer could be one of the first ones to move on if they wanted to cash in. Now, it says you'll be able to pick him up for around 6 to 7 million. I think he could be a cracking signing into the midfield. He could come straight into the first 11, or you could wait until Caicedo's been sold, of course. But he's quite a physical central midfielder. He's got a lot of presence. He's got decent stamina, decent balance, high aggression, as you can see there. Not the paciest, but obviously with the centre mid you don't really need too much pace. But he's got good passing, long pass and short pass, both in the mid to high 70s. And he's only going to improve because he's 25 years old. You'll get 3 or 4 seasons minimum growth out of him, so you'll be able to get him into the low 80s if you push really hard. He's also got a few traits here: flair, long passer, long shot taker outside of the foot shot. I keep saying foot. If you watch from my previous episodes, I keep saying that, but anyway, it's foot. So yeah, as I've shown you already, there's the asking price and what you could be able to get him for at the best. So that's Gustavo Hamer. Could be a solid signing for you. Now, if you want to shore up in defence, who else other than Reece Oxford could be a good signing for Brighton? He's in the first season. He's actually in the final year of his contract, so you'll be able to pick him up for a reduced price if you wanted to obviously get him in the final year. Otherwise, you could potentially get him on as a free agent if you didn't want to pay the between 5 and 7 million. I mean, it's not going to break the bank, this signing, but it's just a solid centre back that you could bring into the club to either play alongside Veltman and Dunk, or even replace one of them in the starting 11 after the first season at least. He's 23 years old. He's got a good 4 or 5 years of growth, and he's 6'4", so he's absolutely tall. He's so tall. Let's have a look at some of his stats. He's 75 overall. He's got good jumping, good strength, so you expect him to win a few headers. He's got good heading accuracy as well, and stand tackle, slide tackle. He's not the most paciest player, but still, he's a centre-back, and he's good in the air, and that's what you expect from a centre-back, really. So he could be an excellent option if you wanted to pursue that route. Now, on to the 4th player on this list, and it's Lucas Robertone. And unfortunately, he doesn't have a player face, but he makes up for that in his stats. Look at his summary there. Everything is green. He's 25 years old, 76 overall. We'll go have a look at his traits first. Dives into tackles, finesse shot, flair, long shot taker. That's amazing. You look at his technical, most things are in the green there. Shot power, brilliant. Curve, good as well. If you wanted to play him out on the wing, I reckon he could probably do a job. Although he's better suited to centrally, I think. Acceleration, sprint speed, he's very fast. Very agile as well. His jumping is nice, so he'll be able to get quite high up, you expect. Stamina, can run around all day, that tells you. And aggression is high as well, so he won't shy out of a challenge. He's 5'9", 4-star, 4-star. He's just a very nice, well-rounded player. And obviously, you've already got Alexis McAllister from Argentina in your team. Now, you could play Robertone anywhere in the midfield, really. Attacking midfield, central midfield, or even a little bit more defensively. As you can see there. From Almeria, he's got a cost a little bit more than a couple of the others we've already suggested, such as Gustavo Heimer. Says you'll be able to pick him up for between 10 and 13 million. You won't have to pay that release clause 100%, unless you wait until season 2 or 3. Then it may be a better idea to pay the release clause, providing they haven't renewed his contract. But anyway, that's Lucas Robertone. What a player he could be. The penultimate player on this list is Christos Tzolis, the Greek player from recently relegated Norwich, of course, from last season. 20 years old, 72 overall. Why? He should be a higher overall, in my opinion. But to be fair, he's got a lot of growth, hasn't he? So, 4-star, 4-star. He's going to grow into the mid-80s, you would think, at least. He'll be a mainstay in your career, I've got to say. Look at his acceleration. Sprint speed, decent as well. Agility, balance, aggression, attacking positioning stand out to me there. Other things aren't great, but obviously you've got so much potential with this lad. And he's not going to cost much at all. Literally 5-6 mil. He's not going to break the bank whatsoever. Christos Tzolis, he would, and it's realistic as well, because he would, if he had the option, he would come down to the South Coast, I imagine, from the Canaries, and meet up with all the other Brighton players. So could be an option you pursue there. Now, the final player is Alexander Soloth. Now, unfortunately, you will not be able to buy him in the first season, as he is on loan at Real Sociedad. But if you were looking at a different striker and you didn't want to pursue Jonathan Burkhart, then look no further than this lad in the second season. Alexander Soloth, literally Erling Haaland 2.0. Nah, I'm joking. No one beats Haaland, but he is a little bit of a downgraded Erling Haaland. 78 overall, 26 years old. He plays for Norway, of course, like Erling Haaland does. 6'4". He's literally slightly worse than Erling Haaland. He's got outside of the foot shot. I've said it again. I do apologise. Speed, dribbler, and flair as well. We look at some of his other stats. He's very fast. Look at his sprint speed there. He's got great strength, and he's decent in the air as well, as you can see by that heading accuracy of 82. So similar to Reece Oxford, but just at the other end of the pitch. So obviously it'd have to be in the second season or later that you buy him, but I think if you do, he won't disappoint you. But anyway, guys, it's only been the 6 players for this one. I didn't really want to add anyone else, to be honest, because Brighton have a solid team already, so you don't want to try and fix what's not broken, if you get what I mean. But anyway, guys, that is going to end this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please go down below, smash the like, smash the subscribe button as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. Share with your friends, and comment down below anything you want to see happen in the future, or just general chit chat with me if you want. But yeah, until next time, hope you've enjoyed it. and I'll see you in the next one for... it is Chelsea going to be the next one, I think.